What is up, guys? It's Steven. If you wanted to learn how to trade crypto, you're in the right place because I'm going to absolutely sauce you guys today. If you haven't watched my last video, you should go watch it just to see that I do have a reputable track record on my trading. I know I get like 10 views per video now, but trust me, we're going to look back at this and you're going to see a lot more people are going to figure out about this channel. But in the last video, basically what I'm going to do in this video is recap what I was talking about in the last video, how that played out, did I make any money, and then also teach you about an absolutely amazing strategy in crypto. So if you just want to learn about the strategy, you can skip ahead towards that section of the video. Hopefully I'll timestamp it. But first, let's get into some of the things that I was talking about last week. So the first thing was Bitcoin, and where I was thinking it was going to go straight to all-time highs after reclaiming the weekly open here. Obviously, it was not the case, and we ended up taking out the range lows. There was no trade to be taken there, so that is okay. The thesis didn't play out, but now we currently have swept out the range lows. This is a potential deviation, and now we're reclaiming back into the range and hopefully distribute to all-time highs. But some key areas to watch are right now coming up to the 618 and point of control of this retracement. What I definitely don't want to see is a strong move down and then a loss of the value area low and then a retest. I'm entering shorts here to protect my position if that's the case, but I really do hope that we just blast off into all-time highs so my alt bags can rip. But that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. Okay, the last trades that I took were the ones that I posted about last week or 3 days ago. I don't know why I'm tweaking. Okay, so CRV was one of the main ones I was looking to get filled on, and I ended up not getting filled because it was too strong. And from the bottom, it went up 20% and it missed our entry by about 2%. So scratch CRV, still a great coin. I think it will moon. But let's go into the positions that I entered. So Hyperliquid, the first one. By the way, there's no like live signal like group or anything like that, so you're not gonna know exactly what trade I take. But I gave you the thesis in the last video. So there was a 618 strong ass support right here, a nice big zone where I was interested in buying Hype. It's been trending down since the 25th of July, so yeah. Oh no, I'm tweaking. The 13th of July, 2025. It's been a downtrend, so I would expect it to cool off, which is normal. But now I think it can at least resume to the previous all-time high, which is the target of my long. Again, the thesis for the trade: we came into the key zone, and then we reswept the lows about 3 times. We distributed above them, and then we came down to the daily open right here. And at this point, I was thinking that was the double bottom of Bitcoin this morning on the low time frame chart. If you want to go look at that, that was exact timing. I entered this Hype long. And then I'm targeting the previous all-time high for a 3.5 RR, meaning if you risk $1,000, you make 3,500. And I might shave some off at this high as it's provided a really good move so far already throughout the day. So that was the first trade I took from the last video that I posted about. The second one, and the only other one, which was an absolute banger, was ENA. ENA is up 30% today, 29% today. And I'm going to replay the clip for you just so you can see. Goes under this area. And these are more higher time frame. So I said we're longing into retracements into here. Stop loss, close under this area, targeting, yeah, you see the line. Okay. Go into the ENA chart. Exactly what happened. We came back down to this high where we broke structure on, this is like the daily time frame, but it's pretty much a weekly breakout. And I entered here, and as you can see, I said my stop loss is a daily close underneath this level, which that did not happen. It got defended. So the stop loss didn't go off, or it was a manual stop loss. So I didn't cut the trade. And now from my entry point, it's about up 30%, so that's amazing gains. And I gave you guys the sauce 3 days ago to get into this trade. So if you took it, let me know. I'm sure not a lot of you took it because the video has like 10 views, but I'm still going to post them anyways. Okay, that's pretty much it for the recaps. Now let's go into the strategy that I'm talking about where you can make a lot of money in crypto with not being exposed all the time and only risking when it's the right time to risk. The ENA trade is the perfect example of this, but there are a lot of coins that also you could have done this with. And basically, the premise of the strategy is um, basically so coins that have been around for at least a year, and you want to see some high time frame accumulation and then a breakout and then a retest. I know it sounds super simple, but majority of traders get caught up in low time frame trading and also trading these new hot alts that I'll show you an example of, that they miss these older dino coins, if you want to call it, setups that like really show themselves when they want to break out. And you don't always have to be exposed to the market, which can be a good thing if you're not actively trading day to day. So again, on the ENA chart, it's just pretty much similar to this right here. I'm not basing it just off this, it's just an example. But weekly consolidation, you could say it's downtrend, yeah. And then we finally had the break of structure right here, and I marked out the key zone. And then once we got daily closes over this, you can look for some retrace, and then your stop loss would just be coming back down into that range and giving you a daily close. These can be spot trades because they're pretty easy to manage in super high time frame. So let's go into another example of this. Another example of this is on XRP. This was a while ago though, but again, I mean, this is pretty much any crypto coin that has been around for at least a year. Hopefully the ones that have been around for like 5-6 years also do it. But like, look, ranging the breakout, and then here, same with this, except this was super long ago, and that's actually not a good example. What am I talking about? But again, here you see this is the breakout right here. As you can see, I was looking for longs, it didn't happen, but even just the weekly close above this point right here shows you that XRP is willing to break out and you can target these highs. So that's pretty much the strategy. Another thing I'm looking at is Litecoin. Everybody's like, why are you trading Litecoin? Yeah, but they're trading pump and it's down like 80%. I know Litecoin's like whatever. I'm watching Litecoin though, because if it does break out of this range here, there could be some potential trades, and I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I'll update you. Nothing for now though, but Litecoin kind of does look like the early XRP price action. I was also talking about Bonk at yearly open. It didn't happen. Again, you could kind of just say like, look, you wait for these high time frame break of structures, and 9 times out of 10 you're good to long to the next high while leaving the stop loss under it. And a lot of times it doesn't actually provide pullbacks into the zones you want, but if you're like just going off confirmation closes, then you're pretty solid. So that's pretty much the strategy that I wanted to touch on. Let's see if there's any more examples. Okay, ADA still hasn't really broken this high here, so I'm not too interested. The majority of these coins, by the way, like, will probably end up going back down. Okay, Floki, yeah, Floki. So Floki missed my entry here, but it did have this break of structure here and a weekly close above, and then kind of acceptance back into this area, which I did have long. It didn't get tapped, but you guys see that you don't need to trade the new coins. Let me show you the example of what you don't want to do. And I did round trip a lot. I didn't necessarily lose a lot, but I round tripped a lot on Pump. But yeah, pretty much this is a new coin compared to the older coins, and you're gonna see Pump was one of the best products of the whole entire year and last year, and just recently lost like 90% market share to Bonk, but still it seemed like a good product. They're making real money, they looked like they had a plan, and everybody was just trying to long every single pump up here. Like, look, every single one of them, and absolutely destroyed. So again, I'm looking potentially to scale back into pump, but this is a longer term trade. So I do want to see, like, again, like the other charts that I showed you, weekly consolidation, whether that's weekly consolidation down or up. I just want to see some sort of bottom forming, and there's no point to try and long like this break structure right here. In my opinion, it's just not worth it. We need the price action to develop further. I think Elon's doing some good things, so I'll let you guys know about that. But it's kind of giving like Pengu vibes. A lot of people are comparing it to Pengu, but this is just an example of a coin that's made it back from such a harsh dump, right? Look at this. You didn't need to try and long here because you're just going to go down. You wait for this type of candle here. Wait for this type of candle, pull back, boom. Okay? That's my thesis on pump. Now I've given you guys the strategy. I recapped the trades from last week. So that's pretty much it. I'll probably do another recap probably Sunday of what I'm looking forward to, maybe on indices going into the next week. And that's pretty much it. So enjoy your guys' weekend. I'm out.